closed sales are down. Sales prices year over year are still up, but they are down month over month. What's up, everybody? Josh Bryan here, and this is your Tampa Bay Area real estate market update for the month of February 2023. All right, so today we're going to go over, do a deep dive into the numbers for the Tampa Bay area. I'm going to break it over Pinellas County, Pasco County, and Hillsborough County, and we'll do both single-family homes and townhomes and condos. So let me share my screen, and we will go over that. All right, so first off, we're going to start in Pinellas County. So as you can see, there were 549 closed sales in January. That is down almost 41% from last year. 195 of those were cash sales. That's also down 41% from last year. And the median sales price was $400,000, which that was flat from last year. First time we've seen that not being up in Pinellas County year over year. And the average sales price was $552,352. That was still up 4.4%. So you can see all the information here, but it breaks it down. As you can see, you do year over year and then month over month. So the sales fell from December. December is usually pretty slow, everybody with the holidays and stuff, but January was even slower for closed sales in Pinellas County. Here's the cash sales information. Once again, they're down 195 cash sales compared to 244 in December. And of course, these are all lagging numbers, but these just came out for January. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, in February. And unfortunately, if you look right here, it shows the next date of release is going to be March 21st. They're always about 3 weeks after the month closes out, so they can finalize all these numbers and get them out, because they do this for the entire state of Florida. So if you're interested in a certain county, comment below and let me know, and I can get that information for you. So here's the median sales price for Pinellas County, $400,000. It was down from $436,750 last month. So you can kind of see the trends here, and I track this. I go back. I have a different spreadsheet. I go back years and track it, so I can kind of keep, an idea of what's going on in the market and kind of gauge what I think might happen. Here's the average sales price, $552,352, down from $599,778 in December. Here's your total sales volume. This is the median percent original list price. So that's 93.9%. And what that means is if the house was, listed at $500,000, on average, the sellers are getting 93.9% of that. And that's down from December. So you can see this trend. Our high was, depending on the county, was either in May or July, depending on the county, usually. And it just kind of works its way down. So we're definitely correcting. It's just we're not correcting as fast as, some other markets throughout the country. This is the median time to contract. It's taken 36 days to go under contract, which that's up from 25 days in December and up 260% year over year. And then this is the median time to sell. So that's the entire time frame of once it goes under contract, once it actually closes, 75 days. That was up from 60 days in December. The new pending sales, 918 new pending sales. So that was actually up. So I expect, February's numbers for closed sales to be up with that. We've actually started to see some multiple offer situations again. I actually just had this week on Monday, had a client looking in. It's in Pasco County, but in Wesley Chapel. And when I reached out to schedule the showing, the listing agent called me and just kind of asked me about, my buyer, and was like, we've had a lot of activity over the first 2 days in the market. We're not even considering any offers with a contingency. So that's the first I've heard this year, but hopefully it doesn't get back to that where people are waiving home sale contingent or inspections, waiving appraisals all that crazy stuff that was happening last year. All right, so the new listings, there were 912 in Pinellas County. That was up from 635 in December. And your active inventory actually fell. There's only 1771 active listings in January. That was down from 1,915 in December. And the months of inventory actually fell down to 1.9 months from 2 months in December, which is still, a seller's market. They say it's up 216% year over year, but last year we were like half a month of inventory. So, it's just, I mean, it's not even getting back to a balanced market from a inventory standpoint. And that's why the prices aren't dropping. Interest rates have gone up. They're not dropping nearly as fast as they would if we had 3 or 4 months of inventory. These are the closed sales. They break it down by price point, so you can kind of see, where the majority of the stuff is. Majority of it's between 300,000 and 399.99, and then 400,000 to roughly 600,000. That's the main activity in Pinellas County. And then this breaks down the median time to contract, 13 days, well, by price point, so all this is done by price point here. And if you want a copy of this PDF for any of the 3 counties I'm doing, or any county in Florida, shoot me an email. My contact information will be in the description. So feel free to give me or shoot me an email, and I can get you this information over to you in PDF form if you want that. And then here's your distress market, which, if you look, there were 545 traditional sales. There were only 3 foreclosures and REO, which is, real estate owned, aka bank owned foreclosure stuff, and then only 1 short sale. So there really is not a distressed market here. So for those people that are holding out, you'll probably be holding out for a while. All right, so now we're into the townhomes and condos. There were 419 closed in January. That was down from 682 last year, 38.6%, and 255 in cash. That was down 31.8%. Your median sales price was 279.9. That was up 10% from last year. And the average price was 426,626, up 13.7% from last year. If we break it over month by month, you can see it was down 419 in January versus 562 in December. And then the cash sales obviously would be down as well, 255 versus 317 in December. And then as a percentage, I mean, look at this, almost 61% of the sales were cash. And that was actually up from December. And here's your median sales price. You can see it fell from 310 in December down to 279.9 in January, and the average sales price actually went up from 421,580 to 426,626. Usually, if you don't know the difference, the median is literally the dead middle. So if there were 1,000 home sales, whatever number 500 was, that's the median. And the average is they take the total volume, divide that by the total number of sales, and that's where your average is. So average can change a lot during the from month to month, or basically based on if there's a couple multi-million-dollar properties sold, that could fluctuate a lot. So in reality, most people are somewhere in between both of those numbers. So it's good to kind of just look at both numbers to kind of correlate what's going on. All right, here's your total volume in dollar amount, which really doesn't matter in my opinion. And then here's your median percent to list price. It was 94.9%. That was down from 96.2 in December. Time to contract was 28 days, up from 27 in December. And median time to sell was 64, up from 62 in December. The new pending sales, 685 new pending sales under contract in January. That's up from 422 in December, which makes sense because December is usually a slower month for people out buying. because of the holidays. And the new listings were up 852 versus 572. No surprise there. Active listings are up a little bit, 1,747 compared to 1,667. And the months of inventory actually rose a little bit, 2.6 months versus 2.4 in December. So the condo and townhome market in Pinellas County obviously has more options than the single family homes do. And then here's your breakdown by price point. So most of them are between 200 and 250-ish. And this is your median time frame to contract. And then this is your breakdown of the initial listing price and current listing prices. And here's your distressed market for townhomes and condos. Once again, 2 foreclosures or REOs, 0 short sales, with the majority of them being traditional sale. All right, so let's head over to Pasco County because that's where most of my viewers, at least the ones I've talked to that are actually buying, and working with me, most of them are looking in Pasco County, like Wesley Chapel, Spring Hill, and yes, Spring Hill is in 2 counties, Pasco and Hernando. Just like Lutz is in Pasco and Hillsborough, so they kind of spread across multiple counties. All right, so 640 closed, and this is single family homes in Pasco. 640 closed in January, was down 21.2% year over year. 122 of those were in cash. That was down 52.3% year over year. The median sales price was 361,993. That was up 4.1% from last year. The average sales price was 394,627. That was up from 6.2%. So you can see this. There's not a huge gap here. So most of the people are going to be somewhere in here, which makes this very difficult, especially if you're looking in Wesley Chapel, because there's not much under 400,000. I mean, there's stuff out there, but it goes quick. Total volume amount, your percent to list price was 95.5%. That's down from 4.5% from last year. It's taken 32 days to go under contract. All that, we'll break that down here. But then your month over month, 640 closed sales, down from 765 in December. Cash sales, 122. That was down from 166 in December. 19.1% of the transactions were cash. That's down from 21.7 in December. Here's your median sales price. It was 361,993, down from 375,990. So the now that we're in Pasco and there's a lot of new construction here, so new construction are actually going up in price. The ones that have not been completed, like some of my videos, you'll see that the new construction are falling, but those are on properties that are completed and they fell out of contract, and the builder is reducing the price to get them off their books. But if you're, signing a contract for something that's not built, it's going to be a few months out. They're actually raising the price. I was told yesterday that D.R. Horton's going to start doing $2,000 price increases weekly going forward. So we'll see how long that lasts. I know I've been noticing the last couple of weeks anyway that at least D.R. Horton is anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000 increase each week, and I've seen other builders increasing as well. The average sales price was $394,627. That was down from $407,785 in December. Dollar volume. Here's your percent to list price. Was 95.5%, which was the same in December. It's taken 32 days to go into contract. That was up from 27 in December, and it's taken 85 days to close properties, up from 72, which I don't get. I mean, maybe there's a lot of people that need to sell their house and need to go buy another house, before they sell their house. So they're just asking for longer time periods, but definitely don't need 85 days to close a house. And obviously this would also, this is going to count in a lot of the new construction too. So I guess that's why that's so high, especially in Pasco County. New pending sales 933. That was up from 756 in December. New listings are up 971, up from 761 in December. Active inventory is actually down 1886 in January and 1985 in December. So the months of inventory actually fell in Pasco from 2.2 in December down to 2.1 months. So less inventory. And then this breaks it down by sales price. So if you see, most of them are between 300,000 and let's say 600,000, with the bulk of that being between the 300 and 400,000 price point. And that's your median time to contract by price point, all your listings by price point. And here's your current inventory by price point. So you see, the 515, that's the most sales price point, followed by the second here, which, so these are inverted a little bit from what actual sales are happening. And then here's your distressed market. So there's a couple more foreclosures REOs in Pasco County, 8 total, 0 short sales, and 632 traditional sales. All right, so here's your townhomes and condos in Pasco. There's not nearly as many up in Pasco as there are in Pinellas County. I mean, they're starting to build a lot of townhomes. There were 112 that closed. That was down from 37% last year. 45 of those are cash. Your median sales price was 306,850. That's up 54% year over year. That's insane. The average sales price is actually lower than the median sales price, 298,990. That is up almost 40% year over year. And the median percent to list price is 95.8. That's down from last year. All right, so here's your closed sales. 112 are down from 177 in December. Cash sales 45, that was down from 62 in December. And 40.2% of the sales were cash. That was up from 35%. Your median sales price fell just a little bit from 309.90 in December down to 306,850 in January. And the average sales price, it actually went up from 290,033 to 290,890. So it's basically a wash, but it's trending back up. All right, here's your median percent to list price, 95.8. It fell from 96.7 in December. And it's taken 37 days versus the 23 days going under contract in December. And 94 to close versus 91 in December. The new pending sales were up 238 versus 157 in December. That makes sense. The new listings, same thing, 241 were up from 151 in December. Active inventory actually fell. 424 active right now with 451 in December. So it was down from December. The month supply is the same, 2.2 months. And then here's your broken down by price point. So you can see most of the sales are in the 300 to 399,999 price range. And here is the new listings. Most are obviously in the same price point. And same thing with current inventory, most in that price point. And here's your distressed properties. So 0. So all of these were traditional sales. All right, let's head over to Hillsborough County. This is where Tampa is. And here are for your single family homes. There were 1,035 sales in January. That was down 26.3% year over year. 201 of those were cash. That was down 54.1%. The median sales price was $399,990. That was up 5.8% year over year. And the average sales price, $510,402, was up 11.4% year over year. And you see, so this is where, like people put, inventory up 250%. Well, I mean, it's up from 0.6 of a month to 2.1. So it's still low inventory. All right, here's your month over month stuff. So there were 1,035 sales in January. That was down from 1,233 in December. Cash sales were down from 279 to 201. And the percent of cash sales were also down, obviously makes sense, from 22.6 to 19.4%. Your median sales price fell by $10 from $400,000 in December to $399,990 in January. And the average sales price actually went up from $496,198 up to $510,402. There's your dollar volume. And the percent to list price was down 94.9%, down from the 95.8 in December. And it's taking 38 days going to contract versus 30 days in December, and 89 days to close versus 77 in December. All right, so new pending sales up again, 1,455. That is up from the 1,047 in December. And the new listings, the same thing, 1,420, up from 1,023 in December. All right, so here's your active inventory. Actually fell. It was 3,371 in December, now only 3,096 in January. So the month supply fell from 2.2 months to 2.1 months. And then here's by the price point. So in Hillsborough County, the majority of the homes selling are between the same thing, 300,000 to 399,999. And that's your time to contract by price point, your new listings by price point, current inventory by price point. So as you can see, a lot of them are in that $400,000 to $600,000 range. And then here's your distressed. So there were a total of 6, 5 foreclosures in REO and 1 short sale. All right, so let's head over to the townhomes and condos in Hillsborough. 291 closed sales in January. That was down 34.3% year over year. 123 of those were cash. That's down 28.1% year over year. Median sales price was up 14.3% to $279,990. And your average sales price was up 19.6% year over year to $379,280. Here's your month over month numbers. The closed sales was down from 357 in December down to 291 in January. Your cash sales are also down from 140 to 123. Your percent, though, was actually up. There was more, 42.3% or cash sales in January versus 39.2 in December. And your median sales price fell just a little bit. 279,990 is down from 282,000 in December. Your average sales price, 379,280, is up from 366,041 in December. There's the dollar volume, and here we are. Percent to list price, basically flat, 95.8% versus 95.9% in December. It's taking 30 days to go under contract versus 28, and 70 days to close versus 64 in December. New pending sales are up 438 versus 323 in December. Once again, no surprise there. Same thing with new listings, up 507 from 361. And your active listings, once again, basically a wash, 954, down from 955 in December. So your monthly inventory is actually up just a tick, 2.1% in January versus 2.0 in December. And here's by the sales price. So you can see 57 on each of those between 250 and $400,000. That's the median time by price point, initial listings by price point, current listing price by price point, and then here's your distress. There are none. So that is your market update for the Tampa Bay area for February 2023. If you have any questions or you want information on a particular county, zip code, whatever, shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll get that information for you. If you're thinking about making a move, reach out. My contact information is below, so feel free to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. There's also a link where you can schedule a one-on-one Zoom call to discuss your real estate needs. But until next video, take care.